If you have under $1 million and you're wondering if you can retire, this is the video for you because I bet a lot of you actually can. Now, some of you want to spend $20,000 a month. Well, if that's the case, no, you're not in a position to retire. But there are a lot of you going, look, $20,000 a month. One, I don't even know what I would do with that amount of money. Two, that does not add to my quality of life. I would rather stop this stressful job and spend time with my family and friends and prioritize while I have my health and energy. Even if that means I'm spending $5,000 a month, I can do everything I want to do off of that. So I want to show you if you have less than $1 million when work becomes optional. A lot of you might watch this video and go, I'm going to quit my job. Please know this should be not construed as one-on-one financial advice. This is for fun, educational, informative purposes only. But yes, I do hope it is informative so that you can make a good decision when it comes to your retirement. I have lots of different videos. If you have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, $20 million, you can see I have a lot of different case studies. We do at Root Financial, we have a $2 million minimum. Is that my goal in life to only help people who have $2 million? No, of course not. Right now, we have some capacity constraints where we need to hire more advisors to be able to help people just like you. So the reason I'm telling you this is if you fill out my form below, you will see it will allow you to get access to the exact software that I'm going to show you today, but we would not be able to work with you one-on-one until in the future we have the ability to do so. So why am I making this video? I believe that everyone deserves to get education no matter how much money you have. So whether we work with you or not, I hope that you get some value from this video, even though once again, we might not be able to work with you one-on-one. So let's hop in. So you can see here, this is the software that if you want access to, you can go use this, of course. This is someone that's 59 with $931,000. Now, if you came to me and you said, Ari, can I retire? I have less than $1 million. And I saw an article at Fidelity and Vanguard and Schwab and all these things online that say that you need $1 million to retire, which I'm not saying those institutions are saying that. I've just seen a lot of articles floating around. I will say that that can be head trash because there's someone out there that is writing a headline to make sure that you click and worry. We know worry sells. A lot of you guys, you don't want to leave $10 million to your children. You don't want to create a foundation. You just want to live your dream retirement with your family and do what you want to do. So the point here is you don't need to read any of those articles. And if something says you need $2 million or $5 million to retire, they're wrong because they don't know you. So here's someone, they've got $931,000. They're 59. If they were to stop working right now, they're on track to have $1.2 million at 101 years old. Now, some of you are like, what if I don't live till 101? Well, then great. Like you'll have more money because your assets will keep growing. But what about long-term care? What about helping kids? What about weddings? What about travel? I'm going to talk about all of that today. It's going to be a ton of fun. And if you like these types of videos where we go into tax strategy and withdrawal accounts and all the fun stuff to optimize your retirement, I encourage you to subscribe. About 75% of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel, which is totally cool. If you are not interested in videos on tax, withdrawal, healthcare, purpose, I do not invite you to subscribe. Well, I still invite you, but you do not have to subscribe if you don't like these topics. And I encourage you not to because you will not like me. I love talking about these things. So if you like hearing about me go over these, please subscribe. I know that wasn't perfectly said, but you get my point. So going back to this person here, here's the big variable. How much do they want to spend? So this person's 60, John, and they're retired. Jane, she has some part-time income. It brings in a very small amount, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a year. And so she's retired, but she still does something. So she loves what she gets to do. That's the important part here. Now, in terms of monthly expenses, this person wants to spend $4,500 a month in retirement. Let me tell you what I would think. So the first thing that I would do when it comes to this, if this was you, is I'd say you have $931,000. Where is that money? Is it in a Roth IRA? It's all after tax. It's tax-free. Is it in a brokerage account? Are there big gains on that? Is it in your 401k? For most of you, it's in a 401k. So here's John's situation. $916,000 is in a pre-tax 401k. He's got $15,000 in a Roth IRA. So I look at this and I go, he doesn't really have $916,000 because he has to pay taxes to end up with this money. So he also has a property he does not want to move, and it's worth $550,000. So Going back to his case study here, $4,500 a month. Do you think, use logic for a second, do you think John is going to spend $4,500 every single month like clockwork for the next, 40 years? I don't think so. That just doesn't sound logical. So there's something called the retirement spending smile. And this smile basically is saying, how much are we going to spend over our life? Well, most people spend more at the beginning of their life. They have their energy and their health. Beginning of retirement, not at the beginning of their life. And so at retirement, they've got their energy and their health, and they travel more and they do things. And then in their 70s, they tend to do a little bit less, 80s a little bit less, and then it shoots up again. So it's like a smile, because in their 90s, there's charitable stuff because they're like, I don't want to die with this amount of money. There's medical expenses. So if we were to turn that on, it's not perfect, but it's taking an average here, and you can see it helps, but it's not like it's changing the plan drastically here. It's just taking an average. Good to know. But what if this person, for example, is like, hey, I'm not into investing. I just want a super conservative plan. Super conservative. Money, I don't care if it grows much. Well, if they were super conservative, you can see here, they'd be okay, but there'd be $500,000 at the end. And if they get unlucky because markets don't do well or Social Security gets cut, well, that'd make it really tough. So on the flip side, if they're like, no, I want like the most aggressive investment philosophy, like markets don't bother me, well, yeah, it's going to do the flip side because it's going to show that your money grows even more. So the point here is if we put this back to their current allocation, which they have an 80% equity, 20% fixed income, so they're putting about 8% growth with 3% inflation, so it's a 5% real return, $4,500 a month. That is not including healthcare. Now, healthcare is not forever. It's from now, once again, until age 65. So when Medicare kicks in, so that's something we need to account for. Now that can be anywhere from $3,000 a year to $15,000 a year. I've seen wide ranges here. But if we put $3,000 a year and then we put another $10,000 for vacations, because humor me for a second, what you can see is, yeah, they would be okay. There'd be $968,000 instead of $1.2 million. But maybe John's goal isn't to leave 1.2 million behind. So I'm actually showing you this where I hope you're getting encouraged going, so if I had like 50,000 plus a year, just as kind of my base living, and then I also took vacations and I had healthcare at 3,000 a year, let's bump it up. What if it's $6,000, which it very well could be for those 5 years? Well, yeah, it certainly makes an impact, but you're still okay. Even if it was $10,000 a year, for John from 60 to 65 and Jane from 55 to 65, well, what you can see is, yes, it makes an impact, but they're still okay. And that's the message here is a lot of you guys are like, I don't think I can retire because I don't have $5 million. It depends. How much do you want to spend? What do you want to live your life like? So the point here is this is the first just kind of analysis. What it's not showing and what I think you guys should be spending more time on is what's called your withdrawal rate. So here's my big concern. My big concern is someone retires, gets unlucky, and now all of a sudden they have to go back to work one day. And the risk of that is seen through this withdrawal rate chart. So what you can see here is this is a chart saying how much income does someone have to withdraw so that they can live their dream life. And you can see here, if this person, John, retires at 60, his withdrawal rate is 9%, then 9.7, then 10, all the way nearly 12%. That is not sustainable. That is a sure way to run out of money. If this graph kept increasing, then they are not in a spot to retire. But if this is for 1 or 2 years, that doesn't freak me out as much. The issue here is if there's a lot of years where markets don't do well and they get unlucky, and you have to take 10% out of your portfolio while markets are going down, not only are you permanently putting a loss in your future spending, but now what you're really doing is you're putting so much pressure on your portfolio that you need it to perform well in certain years. And then you start to get this head trash where you go, oh, I'm not going to take that one trip, or I'm not going to go out to dinner because markets aren't doing well. And you don't want to worry about that. So the point here, which is really interesting, is once we're past 66, we turn on Social Security. Well, now the withdrawal rate is super low. Well, look at this, 2-3%. Well, this is where I go to my clients and I'm actually upset. And the reason I get upset, not really, but is because it's too low. Meaning they're going to be mad at me later when they have plenty of money. Because do you guys know what happens here at age 75, from 74 to 75? Why did this just take a big jump? Well, now there are what are called required minimum distributions, where you're forced to take out more money than you'll even need. Let me show it to you. So in the software, if you click on the cash flows tab, it lets you look at your future retirement. So what you can see here is if this person retires in 2025, there's an 11-year age gap between the spouse. You can see there's no more income. They're retired. There's no RMDs. They just have $63,000 worth of expenses, $20,000 a year in extra goals. So you can click on the goals and look at vacation and healthcare, and you can go through everything. You can look at the tax payments, $92,000. That's what they need to live in the first year of retirement. So it's really cool. You can go line by line. And then at 67, you can see Social Security gets turned on. So now there's way less pressure from their portfolio. So really what they need to be concerned about and plan for is that this first, call it 10 years of retirement until the portfolio pressure isn't only portfolio. Wasn't said perfectly, but you get my point. So you can see here at this point, if we fast forward, $52,000 is coming in the door. Now, between expenses, goals, and taxes, $85,000 is needed, which means $33,000, that's the difference that needs to come from their portfolio. Well, that's extremely sustainable. And you can see here, in the future, they're going to have what are called required minimum distributions. Those are these planned distributions in this column here. So if we look at this, what you can see is in 2040, 75, that's when their RMD begins, $70,000 is coming from Social Security, $42,000 is coming from their required distribution, which means $111,000 is coming in the door, and they only need $100,000, which means all of this here, year by year, this is extra, meaning this is more than they even need. And that all gets taxed at your highest marginal bracket. So this is a really interesting retirement plan because what we're seeing is on paper, they're on track for retirement. Look at their probability of success. It's currently 94%. That's really high probability. Their plan is looking great. The thing that becomes interesting is those first few years, that withdrawal rate, it's really high. So I would go to this person and say, hey, are we willing, you don't need to, are we willing to work 2 more years? Because if we do that, what you can see is there's way less pressure on the portfolio. Now we don't come anywhere near those big 10, 11, 12% years. You can see there's still going to be a big jump here in terms of required distributions. And this is why people do Roth conversions, by the way, which I have other videos going into detail on those. But you can see 8, 9% here. That's still a little high. What if for the first few years of retirement, not forever, but the first few years, what if we spent just a little less on vacations? Well, now we're in the 7, 8% range. Then it drops. Now we're in the 1% range. Well, that's too low. Well, what I don't want you to do is avoid avoid spending on what you want to do. And then you're 67 or 68 and you're like, Ari, now my health doesn't even allow for that. So have a plan that if you see a withdrawal rate like this should not make your brain go, I can't retire. But it should make you go, I need to plan intentionally. Because here's someone that has a really good retirement plan once Social Security turns on. And so they just need their portfolio to help out with these first few years. So working 1, 2, 3 more years, that helps in a big way. But at the same time, part-time income can help. At the same time, planning for healthcare in an optimal way can help. What if it turns out they optimize their healthcare income, which is certainly possible, and $4,000 a year is their healthcare costs? Well, now all of a sudden, yeah, healthcare is a consideration, but 7% for 3 or 4 years, that's not sustainable forever. But for a few years, you could certainly make a retirement happen. If your rest of your retirement, Social Security is basically making up the majority of your income. Now, the big thing here that you can see is this is someone who wants to spend $4,500 a month in retirement. Many of you are like, that's not me. I want to spend $20,000 a month. I want to spend $25,000 a month. If you want to see that case study, you can see right here, how much do you need to spend $25,000 a month? So I do these various episodes based off of where you are currently. So I will use a case study to try to illustrate my point. And for a lot of you, you're wondering, can you quit your job? Can you make it happen? Well, do you have a plan for purpose and fulfillment? Do you know exactly what you're going to do in retirement? Some of you are like, yes, financially, I just need to know, when can I quit this job? So financially, start with a software tool, whether it be this one or any other one, to plan out your retirement. And then from there, go deeper. Do the homework to determine, how are you going to fulfill your time? What do you want that next stage of life to look like? And of course, plan for healthcare. Plan for, hey, what if it turns out I want to help? Because what we did not go into here today is, what about adding items like, how often are we buying new cars? What about vacations? What about weddings? What about downsizing? This person doesn't want to, but what if you want to? What about legacy goals? So inheritance, we didn't include that in any way. We didn't include in here, if this person keeps working, are they going to save more to their 401k? Right now, they're not saving any money at all. Right now, they're cash flowing for college for their child. So make sure you have a plan that takes in your specific goals, not just some cookie cutter strategy. That's it for this episode. I hope it was helpful, guys. See you next time.